Okay, so I guess we are live now. Hello everyone. My name is Rohit and I'm the contributor at Super Team. So today we are gonna discuss about the programming like Solana for beginners, like जो first program होता है, first to last program मतलब like पहला पहला program अपन कैसे बनाते हैं. तो आज अपन उसको डिस्कस करेंगे. जैसे पहले के दो सेशंस पे अपन ने गेटिंग स्टार्टेड सोलाना लाइक हमने बहुत सारी चीज़ों के बारे में बेसिक पढ़ा, टोकन प्रोग्राम्स, एनएफटी मेंटर्स, थोड़े ट्वीट्स देखे या या थोड़ा सा अब अपन आगे आज मूव फॉरवर्ड करेंगे. So like I can present my screen. Wait a second. Share screen. Yes, my screen is visible. Yeah, I guess it's visible. Yeah, yeah, it's visible. Okay, so let's move forward. Uh, okay, okay. Okay, so today's the topic is Solana for beginners. So today we are gonna discuss about programming on Solana. Like first is a token. We will want to understand the concept of account. An account on Solana is slice of data from the blockchain. Everything on Solana is an account. You can kind of think of it's like a computer file system where everything is a file. Okay? So every account has a unique address. One second, I guess. So sorry for the interruption, guys. Like yeah. Okay. So every account has a unique address, holds some balance of souls, so and can store arbitrary data. Based on the size of that arbitrary data, a user is required to pay some value of soul for what's called a rent. Like जैसे कि आप समथिंग अराउंड 5.5 भेज रहे हो तो उसमें 0.001 वो उसका रेंट होगा जो आपको प्राइस पे करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है. व्हाट इज यूनिक 256 बिट एड्रेस होल्ड सम बैलेंस ऑफ सोल can store RB data and data store is paid with rent. Since this is a blockchain data, anyone can read from an account. Also, anyone can credit solo token to an account. However, only account owner can modify data, which includes debiting सोल में लाइक जैसे ब्लॉकचेन पे तो कोई भी इसे देख सकता है, कोई भी मतलब कि क्रेडिट कर सकता है, कोई भी आपके अकाउंट पे से डाल सकता है, बट कोई निकाल नहीं सकता, वो आपका ओनर ही कर सकता है. Okay, if we take a look at what an actually account look like in raw form, we can see some of the fields present on all the accounts shown here, like key, lamports, data, executable or owner. Key is a number, lamport is a number, data is a unit bit array, executable is boolean, and owner is a public key. So the address of an account, the key field is just an account address. Lamport Shield simply tracks that account current balance of the soul. Lamports are smaller denomination of soul. Data is where the arbitrary data is stored inside of an account. If the arbitrary data is stored in the account is actually an executable program, the is executable will be the set to be true for the in case of the boolean, right? Lastly, the owner field. which Solana program, which the field determines which Solana program has the authority to perform changes to its account data, including its balance of the lampots, right? Okay, so speaking of the program, let's talk about the Solana programs. Like, okay, smart contract on Solana are called it is programs. First of all, you may hear about the term of smart contracts from the world of Ethereum on Solana. Smart contracts are called it program. Program are a special type of account whose data is an executable program, like we mentioned before. Right now, Solana program can be written in Rust, C, C++, or Python. Soon we may be able to write program in other languages such as TypeScript or Golang. Unlike Ethereum, smart contract program doesn't actually have state of their own. Instead, they perform read and write on accounts from the blockchain. To perform a write, this program must be designated owner of the account is attempting to modify. Program are designed to process what are called it instruction, and they can also send this instruction to other program on the network is hashtag questions. Program are the stateless, they read and write to the to other accounts. These allow program to execute it in parallel. Must be the owner of an account to modify program process instruction. Programs can send instruction to other programs, like, yeah. So here takeaway, everything is an account. All account holds soul can store RP data. Accounts can also store also can accounts can also store executable program. Account can passed into the program, allowing the parallel execution. Okay, so we mentioned program are designed to process instructions. So let's dive into Solana program instructions. Okay, so you can see here an instruction is displayed in raw form. These fields are mandatory in every instruction. Like fields are program ID, which is in number, key, array, uh, which is in subscript, key is a public key, immutable boolean is signer boolean, data is unit bit array. Program ID is the address of the program that this instruction is going to invoke. The key fields contain an array of all the accounts required by instruction. You can see each account provided also specifies whether or not this account is mutable, or a signer is mutable. Is mutable is going to allow Solana runtime to make decision about parallel processing when its instruction is sent. We will talk about signers in a minute. Lastly, the data fields holds the serialized code that tells the program which action to perform. It's also provide any requirement arguments to the program. So here how do we actually send an instruction to the Solana program? We have to package it up and into what's called a transition and send it to the RPC client, which then forwards it to the network. Yeah. Okay, so here is in raw transition. You can see it's comprised of a message and an array of signature, like message, instruction, array instruction, recent blockage, number, fee pair, public key, signers, and arrays in the bracket of unit bit array. Inside the transaction message, we got a list of instruction. You can see transaction can send more than one instruction, and Solana runtime will always execute them in order. In fact, Solana transaction are also atomic, which means that if any instruction fail, the entire transaction is fail. Then no state change will occur. Like अगर जैसे मतलब चार ट्रांजेक्शन है, तो अगर मतलब एक ही ट्रांजेक्शन की चार स्टेज है, अगर उसमें से कोई भी एक फेल हो गया, जैसे आपने सेंडिंग किया, अगर उसमें से कोई भी एक फेल हो जाती है, तो वो पूरा ट्रांजेक्शन ही रिवोक हो जाएगा। मतलब जैसे अकाउंट एड्रेस गलत, या फिर अकाउंट एड्रेस मिल नहीं रहा, या फिर अकाउंट एड्रेस मतलब किसी और मतलब किसी और चेन के किसी और टोकन का है, तो या तो मतलब कुछ भी अगर एरर आती है तो पूरा ट्रांजेक्शन फेल है। या you can also see we have to provide a recent blockage with to help validator weed out duplicate transaction. We also design some account as the one who will pay for the transaction fee. This account will have to sign the transactions. That brings us to signer section. of the transaction payload. This is the simply an array of an entire transaction encrypted with account's private key. The act of encrypting something with a private key, so it can be decrypted with a public key. So it is a known cryptography assigning. So here's the takeaway: program are invoked by instructions. Instruction are sent by instructions. Oh, sorry, transactions. Transaction are atomic. Transaction must be signed. Okay, so let's say we have a Solana program that operate on an account with this count integer field. As you can see, the only supporter instruction is the increment function, which will increase this count by one. We start out with our decentralized application DApp, which is hosted just like in a normal web 2 application. As user performs some action on our DApp, the DApp sends a transition to and and the DApp sends a transaction to an RPC client. Next, the RPC client routes the transaction to a validator on the Solana network. The transaction is proceed and the instruction for our program is executed, invoking our program to perform an action. The program then modifies the state of the counter account. This thus updating the state to the one. Okay, so let's understand this again. Let's say we have a Solana program that have operates on an account with this count integer field. As you can see, the only support. Yeah, as you can see, the only supporter instruction is the increment function, which will increase this count by one. We will start out with our DApp, which is hosted just like a normal web application. A user performs some action on our DApp, and the DApp sends a transaction to an RPC client. Next, the RPC client routes the transaction to a validator on Solana network. The transaction is proceed, and the instruction for our program is executed, invoking our program to perform an action. The program then modifies the state of the counter account, thus the updating state to one. Now we have covered all fundamental programming topics. Let's talk about the tokens on Solana. Similar to Ethereum, Solana has a token standard for any new token on its network called an SPL token standard. However, these standards operate quite differently. The biggest difference is that Solana actually uses a native program deployed natively onto the chain to manage the creation of the new token. These program enforce and adherence to the SPL token standard, but they also give user the ability to create token without having to write their own program. A token on Solana represented by account called it a mint. The account has a core information. The account has the core information about an SPL token mint. As you can see, there are a handful of other accounts that relate to the mint account, which facilitate current action, certain action or properties for that token. To track a wallet's balance of a mint, we use an account called it associate token account, which has you can see it relates to both the mint and the wallet. For any associate metadata for a mint, such as images, title, such as images, title, and etc., we leverage one or more metadata accounts which are created by a metadata program. The metadata program is not a native Solana program, but it does play a role in the metadata standard. The key here is that unlike other thing like Ethereum, we don't need to deploy any program to create a new token. We can do this by completely off-chain by sending instruction to existing program and requesting a new token we created. Now, okay, so like थोड़ा जल्दी आ गया ओके सो एक बार इसको थोड़ा सा एक बार फिर से देख लेना एंड देन वी विल डू द लाइव एग्जांपल ऑफ द प्रोग्राम सो yeah. Okay. 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 सो सबसे पहले हमने क्या देखा कि अकाउंट तो अकाउंट क्या है ब्लॉकचेन का छोटा सा डेटा स्लाइस ऑफ द डेटा फ्रॉम द ब्लॉकचेन Everything on Solana is an account. You can kind of think of it like a computer file system where everything is a file. Uh, what is account? Is a unique 256-bit address, has holds some balance of soul, can store RB data, and data storage is paid with rent. मतलब थोड़ा अलग वर्ड और थोड़ा सेंटेंस में देखे तो every account has a unique address, holds some balance of soul, can store RBT data. Based on the size of RB data, a user is required to pay some value of soul for what's called a rent. Since this is a blockchain data, anyone can read from an account. Also, anyone can credit soul or token to an account. However, only an account owner can modify its data, which includes debiting its soul balance. If we take a look at what an actually account looks like in raw form, we can see some of the fields on present on account shown here. The key field is just 10. The key field is just that account address. The lampots field simply tracks that account current balance of soul. Lampots are the smaller denomination of soul. Data is where RB data, which is stored insides of an account. If that RB data is stored in this account, is actually an executable program. The is executable boolean will be set to be the true. Lastly, the owner field determines which Solana program has the authority to perform changes to this account data, including its balance on offline nodes. Speaking of program, let's talk about Solana program again. First of all, you may hear the word smart contract from the world of Ethereum. On Solana, these are called it the smart contracts. Oh, sorry, programs. Okay, so मतलब और ये किसी भी लैंग्वेज में लिखे जा सकते हैं लाइक सी प्लस प्लस पाइथन रस्ट हो सकता है फ्यूचर में हम इसको टाइपस्क्रिप्ट और गोlang में भी लिख सके और the program or the special type of the account whose data is an executable program. Unlike Ethereum, smart contract program doesn't have their actually state of their own. Actually, have a state of their own. Instead, they perform read and write on accounts from the blockchain. To perform a write, these program must be have uh, designated designated owner of the account. It's attempting to modify. Program are designed to process what are called as instruction, and they can also send the instruction to other program on the network. Takeaways: everything is an account. All accounts hold soul. Accounts can store repeated data. Accounts can also store executable program. Account are passed into the program, allowing for parallel execution. We mentioned program are designed to process instructions. So let's dive into Solana program instruction. You can see here an instruction is displayed in the raw form. These fields are mandatory in every instruction. Program ID is the address of the program that is instruction going to invoke. The key field contains an array. The key field is contain an array of all accounts required to buy the instruction. You can see each account provided also specify whether or not this account is mutable and or a signer is immutable. Is going to allow Solana's runtime to make decision about parallel processing when this transaction is sent. Lastly, the data field holds the serialized code that tells the program which action to perform. It's also provide any required argument to the program. Okay, so it's a transaction. Okay, so transaction से move करने से पहले let's see the parallel. Stop sharing, guys. 1 second. Yep. So I hope my screen is visible. Yep, it's visible. So as you can see, 1 second, guys. Okay, sorry. Okay, so as you can see, we will cover the following topics. Like we will run about recently uh, talk about accounts, rent, executable accounts, data, and ownership. Transaction we will writing program structure, building custom instruction of your program, building custom instruction of the client side, framework for writing Solana program, tokens, minting, data decimals, minting authority, fees authority, associate token account, metadata, key pairs. So what are the key pairs? Solana wallets are like to other crypto wallets. They utilize a public key and private key. Private key are used to sign transaction which can only be decrypted by their private key associated public key. These allow cryptographic program to verify signature with only the public key, not the private key. This is similar to how SSH key work in the computer communication. So Solana SDK can create a key pair compatible with Solana blockchain, but is not actually activated until the public key is registered with Solana system program. Okay, so let's see what is the system program. Solana is a number of native program or smart contracts that live on its cluster. Arguably, the most important native program is the system program, which is responsible for the following: register a public key as a blockchain address, allocating space at a particular address, changing the ownership of an account. To register a public key with Solana, we must use the system program. This will effectively register our key pair public key as an address and create an account on Solana blockchain. The account address will mark the specific location of our account on Solana blockchain. Okay, so here what okay, so let's see this GitHub link also, guys. And yes, it's not visible. I guess not visible. Okay, yes, visible. Yeah. So here you can see first we will import connection, key pair, public key and system program. From like this we have like JS file, JavaScript file, and then we have oh sorry okay yeah, then we have import the load key pair from this configure file. Then we have account info, balance, new key pair, transaction from logarithm algorithm. Then we have to build transaction. Then we have to create a connection from the API token. Like if this is the confirm, then it's show confirm. I guess error is there. Wait a second. Yeah. Okay. So then constant key pair require OS, home directory, and Solana JSON file. Like I will share this file. Like I will share this GitHub link so you can easily share this. Okay. So key pair one and key pair two. Like we have generated here two key pairs. So yeah. And this is the function. This is the asynchronous function for create account. This is the create account, which have string and key pair. Then we have import lampots with a connection manual assumption, and they were account instruction from public key and new account key. Then we have import key pair, then program ID, and yeah, and then they have to create account transaction from firstly the build token. Then we have build connection from pair key and key pair. We can create account instruction. Then from the signature, we will wait for the send transaction confirmation. After that, we will lock new pair and we can wait for the balance. For balance, we know account name, connection, and key pair. A synchronous function get account data, public key, account info, new log section, account info, then transfer सोल from अब अपन को ट्रांसफर सोल ट्रांसफर करना है सोल अकाउंट, तो उसके लिए हमें की पेयर चाहिए और पब्लिक की चाहिए. देन न्यू लॉग सेक्शन हमें कॉन्सल स्टार्टिंग बैलेंस एंड लॉग बैलेंस अकाउंट ए, मतलब जिस अकाउंट से भेजना है, ना अकाउंट बी जिस अकाउंट में भेजना है. ट्रांसफर इंस्ट्रक्शन ट्रांसफर फ्रॉम पब की to public key emblem ports 9. This is the port address. Transfer transaction, we have to build transaction from connection and key pair. Then we have wait for the signature, and yeah, this is the final program. We have can transfer the soul from one to another. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, so we can see the how the we register a key pair with the system in the typescript format. So now we will go towards the accounts. You can think of Solana Global State as an operating system. In Linux is known that everything is a file. You can swap the word account for file when talking about Solana, and majority of the concept will be same. Like अगर आप Linux और Solana में काम कर रहे हैं तो सब same है, बस everything is file. And सोलाना कहेंगे अकाउंट इज अ मतलब अकाउंट इज अ सॉरी एवरीथिंग इज अकाउंट सॉरी in a nutshell, Solana index data, including someone balance of soul, into accounts on blockchain, and can find them using their addresses. Account follow a basic structure, lampots, the amount of soul in an account, the program that owns this account, whether or not this account is an executable program, the custom data is stored within this account, the next eco pitch that rent with the will be due for this account. You can see by default account stores some metadata including balance of Sol, Lamport's rent. Solana charges a user rent for storing data on blockchain. Even if it is just that default metadata, the more data you add to the data file, the more rent you will responsible for paying. This is due to the simple fact that Solana cluster nodes pay for hardware, which is where your data will be stored. This distributed the cost across the cluster similar to a market. Note, you can make an account rent extent by depositing a full value equivalent to 2 year worth of rent. This will effectively hold rent withdrawals on your account and leave your balance intact. 1 second, I guess I am missing something. No, I think I'm missing something. Yeah, so no, yep. It's worth nothing that the amount you pay as rent is almost negligible for most account. Executive loan, simply put, everything on Solana, even smart contract program live inside of account, and in order to tell the cluster that an account is actually an executable program, the boolean is used. The data field is called an account in a data. That's where you can store your own custom data. The data is stored in the form of bytes, and you need to serialize traditional data into bytes in order to store it inside the account. More on this later. Yeah, so ownership, talk about the ownership. Ownership is an extremely important concept in Solana. Basically, every account is owned by a program. When a program owns the account, it's allowed to modify its data at will. Programs like the system program have a signature requirement that prevent unlimited change to an account. This is not your work. Okay, transaction with Solana network. In order to conduct operation with Solana, you need to use a networking protocol known as RPC, like we have seen before, to send requests to the cluster. RPC is similar to HTTP. HTTP in sense that you are basically sending a GET or POST request to the Solana network to conduct some sort of business. Requesting data from Solana to query state information on Solana without making changes, you can send an RPC request to receive a certain response with your desired information. You can do this by setting up a connection to the Solana network by sending a request. Here is what looked like in TypeScript. Let's see. Instead, yeah. So let's see. Yeah, like we have import connection public key and system program from like same Solana web3 js. Then we have import account info, so balance new KPI transaction. Then we have import build transaction. We have create new connection from API Solana. Then commitment about Solana, like it may commitment let's see with this अगर connection establish होता है तो confirm show करते हैं, and this is the port number. Then we have made a key pair from the file from home directory. Then we have made two key pair constant. Then same we have like हमने स्पेशली में एक constant function बनाया था, हमने same function इसमें वैसे ही बनाया है. Yeah, so the changes is this, like ये हमने चीज़ है जो हमने change करी है, बाकी like yeah okay all the things are same. So इसमें हमने बेसिकली एक अकाउंट डेटा लिया है फ्रॉम पब्लिक की से. देन वी हैव क्रिएट a constant account info. Then like we have to wait for the connection, like connection setup हो रहा है. Then we have passed the new log section and log मतलब अगर connection पास हो जाता है तब हम log section जो account info है वो उसको दे देंगे. So this is the changes and like yeah everything is the same. like जैसे हमने कीपेयर वाले प्रोग्राम में देखा था एंड इसमें बस हाँ हमने ये चीज़ एक ऐड करी है इस सेक्शन के बाद. लाइक जब हमने उसमें फंक्शन बनाया था उसके बाद हमने सॉरी ये चीज़ एक हमने ऐड करी है बस. ओके, so let's move forward. Like we have running low in that time. Yes. Okay. So let's see modify data on Solana. To modify a state on Solana, you can also send an RPC request, but you will need a package. But you will need to package this request into what's called a transaction. Transaction are structured data payloads that can be signed by key pair, a private key, which allows for cryptographic authentication, as we discussed above. A transaction look like a signature, message, header, address, recent blockage. Instruction signature is an SS list of signature. Address is in the form of like 6,000, 9,000 we have seen before. These are the headers. Address is account involved in the transaction. The recent blockage tied to this transaction. Instruction is performed on Solana state. A transaction instruction looks like program ID, account, and instruction. Note: a recent blockage is included in Solana transaction as a security measures. Basically, the network is going to make sure this is not a old transaction to prevent against fraud or hacks. So here is an example. Let's see about the example of let's see, let's demonstrate. I guess my time is well, yeah. So as we see in that this is the program we have made for the key pair. Like ऊपर का तो सब same है. Like import connection, like this is not saying that this is the main function for the key pair, and this is the main function for the किसके लिए था एक second. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Transaction with transaction with Solana data, and this is the main. This is the key pair for modifying data. अगर हमें जो डेटा मॉडिफाई करना है उसके लिए हमने ये एक नया फंक्शन है जो हमने ऐड किया. And this thing, no, this thing is same. Yeah. So हम तो लास्ट में तो उसके ऊपर हमने ऐड किया. Okay, so we have created a function transfer Solana, and we have like imported key pair and public key. Then we have created a new function, call the new log section, and then we have like shown the missing starting balance from account A and account B. I think this is also the same, right? Yeah. So this is also the same. We have created this thing. Yeah, this is also the same. Like this is like now 9,000 lamport. So this thing we have created new. Then we have created transfer transaction from build transaction and imported public key pair, and we have created signature which wait for the send transaction connection and block transaction. Then we will have the ending balance, like ट्रांजेक्शन होने के बाद हमारे पास स्टार्टिंग बैलेंस कितना था दोनों अकाउंट्स में, एंड ट्रांजेक्शन सक्सेसफुल हो गया उसका एंडिंग बैलेंस कितना बच रहा है दोनों अकाउंट में जिससे भेजा और जिसमें गया. ओके, सो लेट्स मूव फॉरवर्ड. ये हो गया या सो नेक्स्ट वी हैव अ राइटिंग प्रोग्राम. We have more to cover. Yes, let's start now. Okay, so next we have a writing program. Most Solana operation can be done without writing your own program. In fact, most popular DApp on Solana simply leverage on client-side RPC instruction with the Solana network and don't utilize a custom program. However, you may find while writing your own program, there are a few things you need to understand: the structure of Solana program, how to set up multiple instruction, how to serialize your program instruction from the client side, how to send a transaction to your custom program. Solana program were written in Rust, so you can leverage Solana program and create SQL token depending on like what is the program does. And program structure, all Solana program, whether they are custom program, native program, follow the same instruction. Program have an entry point which tells the Solana runtime where the entry pointer to this program is, and this entry point is simply the function that has been specially designed. One second. Okay. Okay, so if which is simply the function that is specially designed to process the Solana instruction. If we look the anatomy of the transaction, my program ID, accounts and instruction, and there is a program result. So here we can see the entry point. Let's see the example of the entry point again. Yeah, share this tab. Okay, so इन्होंने पूरा okay, so इसमें हमने पूरा एक प्रोग्राम ही अलग बना दिया. Like इसमें पिछली बार जैसा कुछ सेम नहीं है. सो या वी यूज सोलाना प्रोग्राम लाइक हमने जो पहले बनाया था हम उसको यूज करेंगे जिससे हम अकाउंट इन्फो लेंगे एंड वी हैव क्रिएटेड एंट्री पॉइंट जो मतलब उसका रिजल्ट है एंड पब्लिक की देन एंड एंट्री पॉइंट इज हेलो वर्ल्ड फ्रॉम हेलो वर्ल्ड वी हैव इंपोर्टेड प्रोग्राम आईडी अकाउंट एंड इंस्ट्रक्शन मैसेज हेलो सोलाना अवर प्रोग्राम आईडी दिस मतलब ये मैसेज डिस्प्ले हो जाएगा लेटर ये तो आपको अभी काम करनी है ओके सो लेट्स मूव फॉरवर्ड you can simply written in program rust must we create a type lib and declare a specific lib known as cdy lib. You can specify this configuration by cargo.toml. We create this thing. Build custom instruction like this is not a word thing. Framework. Let's discuss this in order. Okay, so now let's talk about the token. Token on Solana are called SPL token, and they follow a standard just like token on Ethereum. On Solana, token are managed like so. A mint account is an account representing the token itself. Account associate token account are accounts with that tie a wallet address to a mint address and describe that wallet's balance of that mint. Metadata accounts are separate account that point to the mint account and define all of the associate metadata for a token. All token are managed by a token program. Another native program in charge of in, in charge of SPL token. For working SPL token, you may use the following library dependency 0.0. So here we can see what creating मतलब हम mint कैसे बनाते हैं उसका एक प्रोग्राम देख लेते हैं. Let's see the example of that also. Okay. So like this is the also different program. Let's start. Okay. So यहाँ से तो अपन ने देखा था कि हम कनेक्शन और ये सब करते हैं. उससे पहले हमें एक ये चीज़ें और मतलब मिंटिंग करनी है तो इसलिए हमें मेटा डेटा और ये सब हमें इंपोर्ट करना पड़ेगा एंड वो की चीज़ें तो सेम है. दस वी हैव की पेयर जनरेट किया एंड जहाँ जहाँ की पेयर जनरेट हो रहा है वहाँ हमने मिंट के लिए मतलब जो जो चीज़ हम सुलाना के लिए कर रहे थे वो चीज़ हमें मिंट के लिए भी करनी पड़ेगी. लाइक जैसे हमने की पेयर जनरेट किया तो हमने मिंट के लिए भी की पेयर जनरेट किया. ये सेम प्रोग्राम हमने उसके लिए बनाया था एंड सेम प्रोग्राम मतलब ये सेम प्रोग्राम हमने की पेयर के लिए बनाया था एंड या ये सेम प्रोग्राम अब हम मिंट के लिए बनाएंगे. या दिस देखो सब कुछ सेम है. क्रिएट टोकन यहाँ पे इसमें क्या था क्रिएट अकाउंट. ठीक है. मिंट की के पेयर डेसिमल्स नंबर क्रिएट एन अकाउंट फ्रॉम द मिंट constant create mint instruction system create account from public key pair public key new account public key lampots await connection get minimum balance from rent exception space program id initialize that account as a mint cost initialization instruction mint key pair public key decimals pair connection pair unpaired cost signature new log section. Yeah, this thing is also the same for this. Okay, so forward. Okay, this thing is done. This thing is done. Okay, so I think we have done all the things. Okay, so mint authority and freeze authority. Let's talk about this. Like we don't go in the deep. So mint decimal define how the Solana supply is broken up. For example, for a mint whose decimal value set to 3, if you need to send 5 token to someone, they actually will be receiving 0.005 tokens. Calculation quantity into 10 divided by -1 into D, where D is the decimals. The standard of SQL token on Solana is 9 decimal, where you can specify any decimal value you want. NFT has a decimal value of 0 point more on 0. So NFT की value 0 होती है. Mint authority. The mint authority is the account that is allowed to create new token. The token program does the actually minting of new tokens, but it actually authorized to do so if the mint is specified. The mint authority has signed the transaction. When a mint authority said to the none, this that means no more new tokens can be minted. This action is irreversible. Freeze authority. The freeze authority is the account that is allowed to freeze token movement. This means that a freeze is placed on the mint and no transfer amongst any associate token amount regarding the that mint can be conducted. When a freeze authority is said to be done, that means this token cannot be frozen. This action is irreversible. Associate token accounts. The associate token are accounts are designed to describe how many tokens a particular wallet holds. Since Solana accounts only have a default field of lampots and many different kind of SQL token can be created by anyone, so it's impossible to include a field for every every possible spill token in account. Instead, we make use a separate account, call it associate token account, to keep track of a wallet balance of a particular token. This account has special two pointers. The wallet is associated with the mint and it's associated with an account balance. So this is the GitHub, like अभी नहीं देखेंगे. Metadata is actually get, we must create a separate metadata account with अभी इसको नहीं देखते हैं. Okay, so let's revise first. Okay. So I think we are completing on time. Okay. So if you have any doubt, you can ask, and I have placed some link in the description. You can see them. Okay. So next time हम थोड़ा NFT Minter and Solana General और इन पे बात करेंगे. If you're in doubt, you can ask in the comment section. Okay, bye bye guys, and please use hashtag like hashtag superteam or hashtag Solana and tweet on this stuff. Twitter. You can see my Twitter ID is Rohit underscore Goyal 2002. Okay, bye bye.